Sikorsky self-funded a heavy attack prototype using existing components. The massive aircraft featured swept wings reaching 191 knots in dives. A fatal airshow crash ended development. It was designed to replace the Cobra. It is remembered for failing. Soviet commanders envisioned a flying infantry vehicle. Weighing 26,000 pounds, it carried 8 troops and 128 rockets. In Afghanistan, Syria Alta crews to fly empty. History remembered a gunship. The crews remembered an overloaded transport. American planners demanded a nighttime tank killer. Armed with 16 Hellfire missiles, the AH-64 weighed 18,000 pounds. This machine changed military through Desert Storm engagements. Built to stop massive Soviet invasions, it destroyed desert radar installations instead. American planners demanded a nighttime tank killer. Armed with 16 Hellfire missiles, the AH-64 weighed 18,000 pounds. This machine changed military through Desert Storm engagements. Built to stop massive Soviet invasions, it destroyed desert radar installations instead. Soviet designers eliminated the weapons officer entirely. Utilizing twin coaxial rotors, the single-seat aircraft carried 12 missiles and achieved 196 miles per hour. Single-pilot combat workload proved overwhelming. They ordered an agile hunter. They got an unmanageable prototype. European nations wanted a joint anti-tank platform. The 4-ton composite airframe integrated a 30mm cannon and 8 missiles. Severe maintenance issues plagued deployments across Mali. Russian engineers developed a powerful, dedicated armored gunship. The Mi-28 possessed heavy titanium armor carrying 16 missiles and an 80mm cannon. Budget collapse delayed production for decades. Russia wanted an equivalent. The shattered post-Soviet economy had other plans. Designers widened the cockpit to restore two-man operations. Carrying up to 2,000 kg of ordnance, it achieved 186 knots. Heavy losses occurred during the Ukrainian invasion. It was designed to dominate. It is remembered for highlighting vulnerabilities. Italy produced Europe's first lightweight attack helicopter. The A-129 carried 8 missiles at 154 knots. Deployed to counter tanks, it altered naval history especially. India required a high-altitude platform after Kargil. The light attack Harpaglia class instance, optimally engineered for the highest mountain street. It struggles with basic climate control. China secretly outsourced the initial design to Russian bureaus. The medium-weight helicopter integrates twin engines, 14 external hardpoints, and localized avionics. Performance suffered due to engine limitations. They ordered a heavyweight brawler. They got a compromised medium fighter. The Marines upgraded their legacy fleet to modern standards. The AH-1Z added 5 rotor blades, boosting payload, a formidable upgrade. The crews remembered endless development cycles. Chinese engineers developed a lighter Scout alongside heavier platforms. The Z-19 boasts a 4-blade rotor, stealthy fenestron tail, and an 800-kilometer range. It permanently remained a secondary asset. On paper, a stealthy Scout. In practice, a backup. Turkey localized an Italian airframe for domestic production. Upgraded with Turkish avionics, the helicopter fires 76 rockets and flies for 3 hours. Export limitations arose regarding American engine components. The ATAC solved domestic supply. It created an international diplomatic nightmare. Bell modified a light utility trainer into a gunship. The aerodynamic prototype featured tandem seating, winglets, and 2 machine guns. The Army rejected its minimal performance. Bell wanted a production contract. The skeptical Military Procurement Board had other plans. Bell modified a light utility trainer into a gunship. The aerodynamic prototype featured tandem seating, winglets, and 2 machine guns. The Army rejected its minimal performance. Bell wanted a production contract. The skeptical Military Procurement Board had other plans. The Army sought a high-speed escort for massive transport fleets. Utilizing a complex rigid rotor, it reached 212 knots. Budgetary overruns and complex military engineering history killed the program. 10 built, 0 deployed. The math tells the rest. The original Soviet gunship featured a flat greenhouse canopy housing a 3-man crew. The variant carried 4 guided missiles and 1 machine gun. The glass layout produced catastrophic glare. They ordered a clear battlefield view. They got blinding pilot reflections. Sikorsky self-funded a heavy attack prototype using existing components. The massive aircraft featured swept wings reaching 191 knots in dives. A fatal airshow crash ended development. It is remembered for failing. The Pentagon visioned a stealthy scout for deep reconnaissance. The Raj 66 featured internal weapons bays while remunerated Falk Marvel Fitface. Testing revealed extreme pilot fatalism. Bell enlarged their airframe for heavier payloads. The prototype utilized a 1800 horsepower engine. It resembled a war documentary prop. It lost to the Apache. On paper, it was the logical successor. In practice, a dead end. Japan designed an indigenous observation platform to counter invasions. The 4-ton twin-engine aircraft carries 4 short-range missiles and sophisticated roof-mounted optics. It never faced a foreign military tanks. It monitors local natural disaster zones. China weaponized a small civilian airframe for export markets. The 2-ton aircraft integrated a single thermal sight, firing up to 4 lightweight missiles. Buyers showed zero interest. China wanted a cheap export success. The saturated global market had other plans. Britain modified the American airframe for maritime environments. The WA-64 cast of 8 folding blades. The modification solved naval deployment limitations. It created an isolated logistical supply chain. Bell developed a tricycle-geared gunship for the Army competition. The prototype carried its pilot in the front seat utilizing a 2-barrel cannon. Pilots hated the inverted seating arrangement. It was designed to win contracts. It is remembered for losing. South African engineers successfully reverse-engineered a French transport into a dedicated gunship. The XH-1 mounted an undernose 20 mm cannon and upgraded complex servo systems. It flew only as a testbed. 1 built, 0 deployed. The math tells the rest. Romania attempted to manufacture a domestic anti-tank platform. The modified Alouette carried 6 missiles. It lacked the armor of every warship ever built. The government canceled the funding. They ordered a cheap national gunship. They got a canceled museum piece. The Soviet Navy demanded an armored amphibious assault platform. The heavy coaxial machine transported 16 Marines, mounting a 4-barrel rotary machine gun. It frequently acted as a radar picket. The helicopter solved naval transport. It created an impromptu airborne radar. Special Operations Command weaponized a tiny observation platform. Weighing under 2 tons, the little bird carries 2 miniguns and 14 unguided rockets. Injured for simple reconnaissance tasks, it conquered dense city combat environments. Russia modernized its venerable assault airframe for night operations. The upgrade featured shortened wings, non-retractable and horsepower engines. The modernized avionics constantly glitched. On paper, it was a revitalized platform. In practice, a frustrating hybrid. Iran converted a reverse-engineered lightweight American utility airframe. The single-seat machine incorporates guns and carries 2 anti-missiles weighing 1.4 tons. Combat effectiveness remains highly questionable. On paper, it is an indigenous attacker. In practice, a propaganda tool. China reverse-engineered French technology to build a powerful medium attacker. The WZ-9 carried 8 anti-tank missiles. It fundamentally influenced nearly every aircraft ever built domestically. It was designed to threaten borders. It is remembered for establishing its industry. Sikorsky built a complex coaxial compound helicopter for future armed reconnaissance. The prototype utilized a rear pusher prop easily exceeding 200 knots. Their military program was suddenly canceled entirely. 1 built, 0 deployed. The math tells the rest. Iran converted a reverse-engineered lightweight American utility airframe. The single-seat machine incorporates guns and carries 2 anti-missiles weighing 1.4 tons. Combat effectiveness remains highly questionable. On paper, it is an indigenous attacker. In practice, a propaganda tool. Sikorsky built a complex coaxial compound helicopter for future armed reconnaissance. The prototype utilized a rear pusher prop easily exceeding 200 knots. Their military program was suddenly canceled entirely. 1 built, 0 deployed. The math tells the rest.